Hey guys, got another requested video here. This one is on my Gerber Easy Out. This was requested by Airsoft Sniper 52. Uh, so here's a knife. Like I said, this is a Gerber Easy Out. They made a couple different versions of this. They have a junior size, which is a little smaller. This is the skeletonized version with these holes in the blade, as opposed to different opening. Like I use the holes here to open this. The other one, I don't think it's a thumb stud, but it's some kind of cutout in the blade, but it's not all the way through. Anyway, this is a skeletonized version. You see here it's partially serrated, partially plain edge. It's a lockback knife. Very comfortable to use, easy to use. And I actually have a good story behind this knife. I don't know if I shared this yet, but basically, when I was in high school, I was with a friend, and he had a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and he was going a little bit too fast, as most teenagers do. And I was in the car. It was just me and him. I was a passenger, and we were on this like dirt road, very rural area, very windy. And like I said, he was going just too fast, and a deer actually jumped out, and he swerved, missed the deer, but then he got into like a fishtail. You know, his car was spinning out back and forth, back and forth. We turned sideways at one point, and both tires on the driver's side blew out, and we started to roll. And and I don't know how many times we rolled, but we probably moved 50 or 60 feet from where we flipped. So it was quite a ride, so to speak. And obviously, I don't know if you've ever been in a car accident or anything, but it's weird. Things kind of slow down. It's almost like slow motion, and it's unrealistic. You don't actually think it's happening. But anyway, everything's said and done. I opened my eyes. Windshield's broken. I had glass in my hair, my face. Thank God, both of us were wearing our seatbelts. So please, everyone, if you're one of those people who don't like to wear your seatbelts, I gotta tell you, it saved my life. Seriously. But anyway, I don't want to give you a speech on that. But I opened my eyes, I found myself upside down. Car was on the roof. We were upside down, and my seatbelt had jammed shut. My friend was unconscious. He wasn't responsive at all. And my seatbelt was jammed. And I happen to have this knife in my pocket. It's what I used to carry. It was one of my better knives at the time. So I took it out of my pocket, opened it up, and cut the seatbelt off. And then I had an abrupt drop to the the roof of the car, which was no fun either. But it sure beat hanging there, all the blood rushing my head. And by the time I fell, my friend he woke up. I guess he blacked out for a minute. He woke up and he's like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And then he found that his seatbelt had jammed too, jammed shut on him. He couldn't open it because all of our body weight was pulling on it. So I cut him loose. Then we climbed out of the car, and from there on, it's really not necessary to talk. Mostly he cried for a little while, which is a little, I wouldn't say shameful, but it was definitely surprising. This was kind of like a macho kid, but he was thinking about what his parents were going to do. He wasn't really upset about the car at all. But regardless, this definitely helped me out. And from that day on, I've carried a knife every single day of my life. Every time that I've left my house, I had some sort of blade on me, always. So that's kind of my story. Definitely, I kept this knife because it has sentimental value, obviously, from that. But even if it didn't, it's a really nice knife for the money. This was like a $30 knife originally. Got a nice pocket clip, actually. Like I said, nice sturdy lockback. There's no blade play at all. It's got, this middle part here is called a ricasso, and it's got enough space here where if you wanted to, you can choke up just a little on it. It's not really meant for like a finger choil or anything, but I sometimes grab it like this just to give myself a little bit more control. These come razor sharp, no fooling around with these. I don't know offhand what blade steel this is. Probably either a 420 high carbon steel or maybe like a 440C, something like that. This one, they've made this model for years. I got this one probably 15 years ago. Or no, not that long. Probably maybe 8 or 9 years ago. Sorry, I jumped the gun there. Yeah, about 8 or 9 years ago I got this. Actually, my dad got this originally for my fishing box, tackle. A good knife for my tackle box when I go fishing. But really interesting knife. As you pull pull the blade out, it kind of stops at this middle point here, and then from here, it clicks all the way open. You can very easily flick this open if you want. You can hold the blade. You can, what people call a spider drop. Move the camera up. When you hold the blade, they mostly say this because they're using spider codes and they're holding that spider hole there. But you can do this with any knife pretty much. With lockbacks, it's, you know, if you have a thumb-studded knife, it's easier just to flick it open. But sometimes people will do this, and they'll hold the blade and then flick downwards, you know, open it, and then from here you can just keep this grip to get a nice solid control on whatever you're cutting. But basically, you know, it's really easy to do that. If you wanted to, you could flick this open. It's a little bit harder because there's no thumb stud, but I was able to in the past. Just kind of little bit of a wrist flick, kind of get that open. Actually, couldn't do it that time, but you know, not too hard. But it's a great knife. I love this knife. Like I said, I just told you a story on it, so it does have sentimental value to me. But like I said, even if it didn't, it's a very nice knife to have. I like this here. These are kind of like two, it's on either side. It's like a hard rubber insert. It just gives you a little bit of grip, a little more something to hold on to on the side here. This texturing here is actually very smooth. It doesn't hurt your hands. Like if you were to really hold on to this knife doing work, it wouldn't rip you up. You know, it's not as grippy as some other stuff that I've seen and used, but I kind of like it. You know, this knife is a little bit slippery when it's very wet, but I don't, you know, most of the time I don't use my knives under wet conditions, so it doesn't matter to me all that much. But the ergonomics are pretty comfortable. I like it. That's the Gerber Easy Out, the skeletonized version. So that's all. That's my little review and my little story on this knife. So thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.